much, Mutu, and thank you for inviting us for this webinar. My name is Marketa Gladysev. I'm a business consultant for market development team of EUSPA, which is European Union Agency for the Space Program. And I'm here today also with my colleague Veronika Strnadová, and we will give you 20 minutes long presentation about Earth observation for sustainable forests. So let me just briefly introduce the topics that we would like to address today. So as some of you might not know EUSPA, I will shortly introduce the agency. Then Veronika will talk about Copernicus program and Sentinels and Copernicus Land Monitoring Service. Then key e-observation forest applications. We will briefly touch the regulation on deforestation and forest degradation, free supply chains. And also at the end, I would like to introduce EUSPA funding tools that stimulates development of application of satellite data, and give you examples of funded Horizon Europe projects. So first of all, EUSPA is European Union Agency for the Space Program, and the agency is providing European satellite navigation services, but is also responsible for market development of both satellite navigation and Copernicus data in different segments. So the agency is promoting the commercialization of Galileo, EGNOS, and Copernicus, which is Earth Observation Program. The agency is also coordinating the EU's forthcoming GovSatcom program, which is satellite communication for governments, and is responsible for security accreditation of all the space components. The headquarters is in Prague, and the agency has more than 250 people from 22 nationalities. And now I would like to give floor to Veronika to go in a detail about Copernicus and its application for forestry.
Thank you, Marketa. So now we are coming to the part of the presentation where I will describe the EU space program, the key Earth observation data, services, and applications that are most relevant for forestry applications. So first, the EU space program is called Copernicus. Important to know that it is still the most ambitious Earth observation program to date. It consists of 7 satellite systems, which provide systematic monitoring of the land, water, sea, ocean, and atmosphere. These satellites provide continuous, accurate, and timely information to improve the management of the environment, mitigate the effects of climate change, and ensure civil security. It's important to understand that Copernicus is a complex ecosystem that offers satellite image data as well as value-added information services that are combining both satellite and in situ, that means non-space data. These services fall basically into 6 main categories: land management, marine environment, atmosphere, emergency response, security, and climate change. Speaking about the forest monitoring, the land monitoring services are the most relevant. We can go to another slide. So as mentioned, there are 7 different satellite systems. However, for forest monitoring and forestry applications, Sentinel-1 and 2 play the key role. In this slide, we describe first the role of Sentinel-1. Sentinel-1 was launched in 2014 and acquires C-band radar data. That means the data are acquired at the longer wavelengths beyond the optical and thermal regions of the electromagnetic spectrum. Here you can see the typical salt and pepper radar data looks like. And as you can see, like these data can be so useful for visual interpretation. However, we can derive useful parameters regarding the surface physical property using these radar data. We can use Sentinel-1 data to detect deforestation, forest disturbance, as well as conduct basic forest type classification and biomass estimation. What is important to emphasize that non-like optical data, radar data such as Sentinel-1 provide the all weather and day and night images. So we can move to another slide. Another satellite that acquires data with high importance for forest monitoring is Sentinel-2. First Sentinel-2 was launched in 2015, and it's designed to deliver high-resolution multispectral images for land services. This optical system acquires multiple bands over visible, near-infrared, and shortwave infrared regions of the electromagnetic spectrum. However, what is important to mention is that Sentinel-2 sensor was designed to monitor vegetation status, and thus the multispectral bands are positioned at wavelengths allowing monitoring photosynthetic pigments, water content, as well as other structural parameters such as leaf area index. Sentinel-2 has then a strong capability to map and monitor biophysical property, to detect deforestation, to monitor forest health and phenology status, and conduct detailed forest type classification and biomass estimation. So we can move to another slide. In this slide, we will introduce the Copernicus land monitoring services, more specifically the high resolution layers, which are the most relevant for forest monitoring. This service provides pan-European layers on such parameters as land forest cover and forest type. If we look closer, we can see that there are multi-temporal information layers providing information on dominant leaf type and tree cover density, and also provide products on change detection. In addition to the information forest type, broadleaf and coniferous cover density high resolution layers are also made available. And all these layers are provided at 20-meter resolution until 2015, but since 2018, the spatial resolution improved and are provided with 10-meter resolution. So we can move to another slide. We are coming now to application demonstrations. So clearly, with diverse Earth observation data, which are provided by ESA, NASA, or other space agencies, these data can support development of many innovative applications, for instance, for monitoring biomass and carbon stocks. Beside this, we can also use Earth observation data to support forest inventorying, monitoring forest health and biodiversity, as well as monitoring risks such as forest fires or illegal forest cutting activities. Earth observation also can play a key role for smart forest management, such as forest certification, while helping with labeling sustainable forest management and wood production. We can move to another slide. In this slide, actually, you see an example of a global product. More specifically, we speak about global biomass product. It's the final product of the ESA climate initiative, more specifically of the biomass project. And the map is based on radar data, specifically Sentinel-1 and ALOS Pulsar. ALOS is a radar agency. By combining these multiple satellite observations, annual global maps of the above ground live biomass with a spatial resolution 1 hectare have been produced. Moreover, the biomass project has recently also started a new phase, aiming or progressing towards tracking and quantifying changes over time. Just giving you one example how this product can be utilized. For instance, like researchers use the biomass maps to estimate local carbon losses caused by deforestation. You can move to another application. We are coming now to another application allowing detection of illegal logging. The illegal logging detection and prediction platform allows for detecting such illegal activities in tropical mixed forests and also anticipates possible future environmental crimes. How it works. Through the analysis of patterns such as settlement development or road construction, the platform can predict illegal logging activities and provide also near real-time alerts. Final risks for illegal loggings is derived based on several topographic, weather, vegetation, and economic parameters. And these are being processed by a machine learning, which is capable of processing large amount of data, including training data sets. Additionally, also this platform provides biomass estimation, which, as mentioned, can be further used for the conservation or monetization of carbon stocks and changes in forest systems. And then we can move to another slide. And another example of the application is forest health monitoring. So there is a operational platform called My Sustainable Forest that provides commercial services for forest management. The platform utilizes again diverse observation data, including Sentinel-1 and Sentinel-2, and the service provides updated information on the status and condition of predefined forest properties, namely forest extension, stand delineation, forest infrastructure, main forest types, stand variables such as dominant height, stand age, and stand density, forest disturbance, and topography. So you see it's a very complex approach. And this service, as I said, it's commercial and serves forest stakeholders, helping them with decision-making process and forest operations. So I think we can move now to another part, which is devoted to regulation on deforestation. Marketa will present that.
Yeah, thank you, Veronika. Before we move on, we wanted to ask a question about how you are familiar with Earth observation data and its usage for forestry. So you might see the question in the poll. Unfortunately, I cannot. I'm presenting, so I cannot see. So we can have a look on the results later. And now let me just briefly speak about the regulation and also about the EU Forest Observatory. So the aim of the regulation on deforestation and forest degradation-free supply chains is to minimize the EU's contribution to deforestation and forest degradation worldwide. Therefore, the aim is to reduce global deforestation as well as greenhouse gas emissions and biodiversity loss. And there are specific aims of this regulation. So first of all, to minimize risks that products from supply chains associated with deforestation are placed on the EU market or exported from it. And also to increase European Union demand for a trade in legal and deforestation-free commodities and products. Just briefly, here you can see main elements of the regulation. So the mandatory due diligence is required for operators that place the relevant products on the EU market or export them from the EU. And also only products that are both deforestation free and legal would be allowed on exported from the EU market. This obligation is applicable to operators and non-SME traders. And what I would like to also mention is that it applies to commodities including palm oil, soy, wood, cattle, cocoa, coffee, rubber, and some derived products of these commodities. As a part of its fight against deforestation, and the EU intends to create a forest observatory that will focus on deforestation, forest degradation, and also changes in the world's forest cover. And the role of this observatory will be in the enforcement of the published, but in the published regulation. And now I'll just check how much time we still have time, and which is good. I would like to move to EUSPA funding tools that stimulates the application development of satellite data, and also give you examples of Horizon Europe founded projects. So EUSPA has several tools to stimulate the innovation. First of all, I would like to mention Cassini and entrepreneurship tools. Cassini is the European Union initiative focusing on space entrepreneurship. And EUSPAS manages several activities under this, stimulating innovation and entrepreneurship. I will give you more details on the next slide. Then second pillar, Horizon Europe. So this Horizon Europe tool is focusing on stimulation of application development. While fundamental elements, that is the third pillar, is foster development of mostly hardware, meaning receivers, antennas, and chipsets. And finally, adoption grants. They are focusing mainly on aviation, and it foster EGNOS operational implementation for civil aviation. And I mentioned the Cassini program, which is support for startups from European Commission. And it provides different tools for entrepreneurs, companies, startups. First of all, focusing on developing the solution. So EUSPA organizes Cassini hackathons, also Cassini My EU Space, which is a competition that stimulates application of space data in different segments. Then recently launched Cassini Business Accelerator. Additionally, EUSPA built a network of investors and VCs, and also institutions such as European Investment Fund or European Investment Bank to support the startups that develop the solution with further growth. And EUSPA has also technical and business experts to mentor the startups, and also launch EUSPA Space Academy, which is a free tool for anyone who wants to learn more about space data, but also other aspects of the business, including commercialization part. And finally, EUSPA organizes different networking events where helping companies, innovators, and startups to connect with investors, corporates, or other companies. And here you can see two examples of Horizon Europe projects funded by EUSPA. First one, Swift. You can see also the link to the website, so you can have a look. It's a project ongoing which will provide forest managers with sensing tools using machine learning models. And it will offer a health monitoring service using Copernicus satellite imagery to detect and map the various forest risks. And the second one, Birdwatch, it's a project or a service based on Copernicus, focusing or aiming to improve the habitat sustainability of farmland birds via satellite-enabled monitoring. So it will enable monitoring of farmland habitat sustainability, Of course, again, using Earth observation data and features. And in the last slide, I would like to just summarize main takeaways before we move to the questions. So main takeaways of the presentation. So the EU's climate objectives provide for sure an opportunity for the Earth observation industry to showcase its capacities and help the European Union deliver on its policy objectives. And Copernicus data and services provide important information on one side about climate change, but also focusing on the needs for environment protection and monitoring on the other side. Finally, there are new IT capabilities like cloud computing and artificial intelligence that we mentioned previously that enable large scales and dense time series analysis of the Copernicus data. So this will play a significant role in the future. And also future Copernicus missions will unlock new applications for forest monitoring and management.